My name is Carlos Galvan. I'm a part of the Innocence Project that's going on in Saltillo, Coahuila. I'm a law student.
And I'm Grecia Contreras, and I'm a law student also.
We're a part of the Inter-American Academy of Human Rights, and we're also students of the Jurisprudencia faculty. In total, the Innocence Project has 12 members who are also law students, and it has 3 advisors who are lawyers who are helping us to prepare for how to treat the people who are part of the Innocence Project.
We have been working for more than a year, and the first part is we were on a training for 5 months or 4 or 5 months. And we got to talk to different people that were experts in treating inmates, and after that we began with the interviews.
Yeah, we received a lot of preparation with conferences. We talked to members of Innocence Projects from other parts of the world who told us about their experiences and their cases with different clients who ultimately got their freedom because their cases were taken by the project, and they discovered that there were a lot of inconsistencies with the process that had happened. And we also received some talks by psychologists as well who taught us how to talk to people in certain situations. And I think that really helped us with the experience of actually going to prisons and talking to inmates in there.
A very important part is also that we got to check the legislation of our state, which is very important because it's the tools that we have to help these people and to check the procedures, and also we are able to tell other lawyers to help us to check all the inconsistencies and to prevent this in the future. That's a very important part of the project.
Yeah, that's a really good point because we talk to the inmates, and then we ask for, what we've been doing is we ask for details of information of their lawyers or their family members who might have access to their files. Once we get access to their record, we actually read it and we analyze in case there's inconsistencies between what the inmate is telling us and what the file contains. So it's very important to analyze the files, and it's very important to check how the process how the process happened before we can actually make a final decision and say, okay, this case is appropriate for the project. And for that, we also have the help of more experienced lawyers who can tell us exactly what to do, and in which cases we can just say this case is not good for the project.
Mm-hmm. And also, what we've been doing is trying to contact the lawyers, and something that all these cases have in common is that they hardly ever see the judge, and they don't know their lawyers. So it's a very important thing that they have in common, that it's people that do not have the resources to hire a private lawyer, and they have had like 2 or 3 lawyers for their process, and this just is not the best for their cases.
Yeah, there's a lot of violations to human rights that we've seen by talking to these inmates from the moment of their arrest to the moment they get sentenced. The thing is that when they get arrested, most of the cases that we've seen, they weren't even told the reason for their arrest. They were just arrested, and by the time they were taken to the public ministry, they were actually told what the crime was that they were being arrested for, and that's something that's a very serious violation to their human rights. And it's also the abuse they're a victim of when they get arrested. uh, physical abuse and of course emotional abuse. A lot of the times they get forced into admitting to have committed a crime, and this is something that we also are focusing on because it's when you violate a human their rights, that really influences into all the rest of the process, and this is a big problem. In order to achieve a successful interview with the inmates, it's been very important to maintain a good relationship with the personnel, the workers of the prison. For example, we've been doing interviews with female inmates from the prison here in Saltillo, and we've been communicating a lot with the principal of the technical area. She's helped us a lot into deciding what days we can go and talk to the inmates. She's given us a lot of just advices on how to talk to them because she actually has a very close relationship with the interns, with the inmates, and they actually have they have good conditions in the prison, so it's been very easy for us to access the prison and actually do our job.
Yes, we at the beginning of the process, we asked them if they consider that they are innocent of all the charges, and that was like the main question we had to ask in order to select the cases, and they had to answer that they consider that they are innocent of all the charges. And after that, we asked them to sign a paper where we can check their files, that we can talk to their families, to their lawyers, in order to continue with the process. We go 2 times a week to visit them, and we go in groups, in pairs, so 2 people for 1 inmate, and we ask questions like, do you remember something else, or do you think that there is information or there are proofs that may help us to help them or to prove their innocence? And that's when they remember, that's when they tell us if we can talk to certain people to get that information. And
yeah, a very important part of the interview is that we actually we say to the inmates that in this job that we're doing, we are not replacing the figure of their lawyers. We're actually just some extra help for them, and we are assisting independently from their personal lawyer. So we actually we focus on really making an interview. I really don't know what else. Okay, so the experience by working on this project, we've been learning a lot that we already knew was happening, but in this case we're seeing it more directly. We knew that there were abuses happening. We knew that there was something very wrong with the system and with the way that the process was happening, but we hadn't seen it so directly till now. So it brings us a lot of mixed feelings because it's something that we cannot believe happens, but also gives us more motivation to do something for these people. And we're taking this very big responsibility, which is assisting them and making them feel like we are here for them and trying to make justice when in their process justice did not happen.